GNT back at it one more time. Unfortunately, it's here. This friendly neighborhood Spider-Man season finale. What a series. What an absolute series. Listen, we're going to talk about it. Talk about the last 2 episodes. What's next for the series. Buckle up, people. Let's go. Unfortunately, we come to this point. Season finale, unfortunately. But look, what's going on, everybody? Kev here, aka Spider Kev, back at you. Listen, we got a special guest here. Frank, what's going on, man?
Another guy.
Yeah, we got Mr.
We got a trio.
Hey, we got George here. Thank George. Thank you so much for stopping by and talking about it with us, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I needed to hop in at least with this episode because this show has been one of those shows that it's like I need to talk about it, and I got some time, and I get to hang out with the boys for another day this week. So let's get it.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Go. Amen to that. Listen, now George, you weren't here for the other episodes, but I want to ask you this: what was your first reaction, and did it progress to the positive side, or were you kind of more on the same level as the episodes continued?
Well, the first thing I said is, what the hell is this? Because I'm like, what universe am I in? What Spider-Man is this? What Peter Parker is this? And I've been wrapping my head around it for weeks and trying to figure it out, and I can't figure it out, man. And I just gave up midway through the season, and I was just like, you know what? This show's freaking awesome. I don't care what universe it is. It's freaking great. So first things first, did it get better throughout the season? Hell yes. Is it going to get better in the next season? Hell yes. But I feel like the way that this show has progressed, it feels like a lot has happened in a short amount of time.
Right.
A lot has happened. We see Spider-Man get his powers. We see Doctor Strange, and then coming to what happened in the last episode, which we'll get to later, seeing all that come full circle. It's freaking nuts how they was thought out. The real life implications of the show, where Spidey is having to go through this like this thing in his head of like, what kind of superhero does he want to be? And, we see stuff like the Sokovia Accords in this thing where they're talking about superheroes are bad, bad, bad. And he's like, well, if I'm going to be a superhero, like, how am I supposed to be a superhero? How am I supposed to follow these accords and save people's lives? It's one of those things that, like, it's internally conflicting. And there's so many sides of the coin. You got Norman Osborn who's saying great power comes great respect. That was crazy, first of all. That line
crazy flip. Crazy flip.
I'm over here like, is this man going to give us the great power comes great responsibility line? No, he flips it and he gives us the great power comes great respect, which is crazy because we see that in how Norman Osborn moves. And then on the other hand, you have Aunt May who's saying great power comes great responsibilities, right? We hear that all the time. So it was great. We see that confliction in Spidey throughout the season. And then we also see the confliction in other characters, which is even cooler because we're not just seeing that fight happen in Spidey's mind. We're seeing it in Tombstone's mind. We're seeing it in Harry's mind. And what's their Kiko? Is that her name?
Nico.
Yeah.
We see that in Nico and how she's like, how am I supposed to be mad at Peter? And he told Harry that he was Spider-Man, but didn't tell me. And it's so much confliction in the show.
They didn't even tell him. He just barged in and he's just happened to be there.
I know. Dude,
bad timing. Yeah. That's the Parker luck.
Yeah, but overall the show's been amazing. The artwork and design has been super clutch. I love the comic book look. It's so good.
It grew on me. It definitely grew on me.
I like how, and then through the season, you were starting to see like the panels. So it was starting to show like two sides of the screen.
Those freeze frames.
It's freeze frame, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's dope. I like that. But yeah, storyline's awesome. Character development was awesome. I feel like Spidey is now in a place where he's comfortable. about being Spider-Man, but he's still got a lot to learn. You know what I mean? He's realizing that there's a bigger world out there. He met Daredevil, so he's like, there's other superheroes. He met Doctor Strange, so he's like, there's a guy who does freaking magic. Never heard of this in his life. You know, so he's getting brought into this world of a superhero in the MCU, and I'm excited to see where he takes it from here.
But he also knows that he's a fan of Captain America.
Yeah, but I think it's different when it's when he had that first instance with Iron Man, when Iron Man was going after when he captured Scorpion. Like that was his first interaction with a superhero outside of Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he really met Captain America. You know, we saw a picture of Norman with Captain America, but that was as far as we saw it. So with him seeing Iron Man, I feel like that was a lot of an initiation of like, oh, there's superheroes out here and they're way better than me. You know what I'm saying? Like Scorpion was beat down by Iron Man and taken into custody. You know, Daredevil whooped his butt when they were fighting. You know what I'm saying? So like there's other people out here in New York alone, just in New York, that are like doing what he's doing, but he's realizing he's the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to saving people, and he's working his way up along the ranks.
Which one's that? Yeah, everyone usually does. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. We're gonna talk about these last two episodes real quick, okay?
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
Let's go.
So,
jump in.
Episode 9. Okay. You get the classic red and blue suit.
Finally.
Finally, we get the red and blue suit. And I like how it's him saving Nico, which, Frank, did you notice what she tried to do before that truck's about to hit her?
She was going to use the amulet.
She was going to use the amulet.
She was totally going to use that amulet.
Now, George, do you have any knowledge of Nico whatsoever?
No, that's what I was going to ask you guys. So what's up with the amulet, dude?
She is actually a have you heard of the Runaways?
Yeah.
That's her. She's the witch.
Oh.
She's the one with the staff. Yeah. She's gotten more popular in a few years. She was in the Midnight Suns game, which terrible. I'm not even going to talk about that. Obviously, the Runaways TV show that lasted, I think, 2 seasons. 2 or 3 seasons.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, that's her.
That's Nico. Okay. So, because I was thinking, dude, I'm thinking of the Spider-Man games, and I'm like, wasn't the girl Nico the police officer in the Spider-Man game?
No.
I was thinking that was her. I was like, oh, she's gonna be.
You're talking about the Insomniac game?
Yeah.
No, that was what was her name?
Something Watanabe or something like
that. Yuri.
That's what. Okay.
Yeah, she's a different character.
I'm like, oh, it's probably her from there, and I didn't even think because I saw the amulet thing, and I'm like, is she like a sorcerer too, or like what is it, whatever? So she is, but I didn't put the Runaways. I didn't put that together too.
Yeah. So in the comics, her parents or her mother, is a witch. So that's okay, that makes sense now.
But
yeah, she was about to use it, but Peter saved her, and we get a whole fight scene with the Scorpion gang and what's his name again? Don? Is it Don?
Don.
Yeah, Don.
And his gang, they start fighting. He was about to die. Scorpion was about to kill him, but Dom literally pulled a whole "See ya, I'm out." He pulled away. I was okay. I thought he was going to die because obviously we know what's going to happen to Lonnie. It's Tombstone. He's going to become the gang member, the huge boss. Yeah. I thought he was going to die in order for Lonnie to become the leader. But
dude, if you really think about it, he did die. His respect was thrown out the window. He was out, hopped in the car, and drove off while all his 110s were all looking at him.
He stood up.
He let the 110s die.
Yeah,
he let them all to die and rot. Which for Lonnie, that was your ticket. That was your opportunity to leave the whole thing, go back to your normal life, man.
Oh, I said the same thing.
That was your opportunity, and you wasted it. But
his life was over already. He made his decisions.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, man? He had an opportunity to flip that whole narrative after getting the powers.
Yeah.
he could have been like Spider-Man and take over and help him out with what he was doing instead of doing the 110s. Like, he could have been like, hey, listen, I'm stronger than all you guys. Deuces. And run out too.
Right.
Can you imagine how cool he would have been as a football player with superpowers? Bro. Can anybody say MVP?
nothing like trucking somebody and then looking back you realize, oh shit, I just broke his arm socket in half. His whole leg is on his foot or on his head.
I just ran through an entire line of guys.
He's the MCU version of Mr. Incredible. Like
one guy's dangling off the pole.
Half of his body's dangling on a pole.
Okay, so he goes in the truck. And then a certain gas gets exposed, and that's how he gets enhanced with his abilities. Now, Peter actually gets a little, I wouldn't say anxiety attack, just PTSD.
Yeah.
With seeing Scorpion.
I wouldn't say PTSD. Yeah. I'd call it more so as like, it goes back to that conflict thing because he's like, bro, this guy almost just killed me. Like, I gotta put him out. I gotta take care of him.
Yeah.
But that is also PTSD. It's him having that traumatic experience, and now he just clicks into rage mode.
Which was nuts.
Which was, we'll get to that. So Lonnie steps in, and they have a whole tag team fight. This dude, you want to talk about a moment? I think Spider-Man jumps off a Scorpion or gets hit. Lonnie catches him and goes, you ready? He's like, wait.
Yeah.
He just throws him.
Just throws him.
Like nothing.
He pulled the move from Marvel Rivals with like Wolverine on top of like.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. They pulled a fastball special. Like
not me just playing before we start. But anyway. Can't get enough that game. Anyway, so they fight. They think they won. Then Scorpion drops a whole bunch of construction metal and equipment, everything, cinder blocks, everything drops on Lonnie, and Spider-Man snaps, turns into God. People always say, what's the most frightening thing to happen in comics? Batman that laughs, or Spider-Man that's quiet. And we got that in that like 2-3 minutes. Peter was dodging his attacks like the Matrix, like nothing was happening, and he was just dropping. And like you could tell that people around him were like, "Whoa, what's this kid doing? He's about to kill him." And then you see what we talked about. Norman saying, with great power comes great respect. And as he was about to kill him, kind of like the Green Goblin and Tom Holland Spider-Man, Lonnie pulls the Toby and stops him.
Yup.
What do you guys think about Lonnie being the one to stop him?
Go ahead, Frank.
I mean, I feel like it was apropos, but at the same point, it's going nowhere.
Do it again. And they say sarcasm isn't a superpower.
Is somebody playing something?
That's me.
I'm like, what are you listening
to? But yeah, I feel like it's apropos that it's Lonnie, because Lonnie did that in the beginning. Lonnie was like, oh hey, like that inclusive kind of guy that was bringing everybody back and everybody in as be one part of the team. But it's going nowhere because you can see him going down the dark path. There's going to become a point where Spider-Man has to stop Lonnie.
Oh, I'm not ready for that.
There's going to become that point.
I know, but
so we get it now in reverse.
I'm not ready.
So there's foreshadowing there, I feel.
Oh, absolutely. And I like the fact that we actually get to see a Spider-Man not hold his punches for a second.
No.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like him really wanting to wail on Scorpion for doing what he did to Lonnie. And then the ironic part, like you were saying, Frank, it's like, who stops him? It wasn't Nico. It was Lonnie, who's going down that path of like, all right, yeah, I got superpowers now, but I'm not going to use them for good unless it's this moment here to save Spider-Man from doing something he's going to regret. But then it's going to come full circle later when Lonnie's using his powers for stuff that he's going to eventually regret. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree. We're going to see a part where Lonnie and Spider-Man are going to have to fight each other. But I have a feeling that Lonnie's going to turn back around. And this is going to be that, hey, I'm going to pay it forward.
Come on. No.
I don't know.
It
I never know,
can't.
man.
It can't. I mean,
they can totally do that.
The great thing about this,
but I don't see it.
The great thing about this universe is that it's not set in stone. Anything can happen, man. I mean, granted, if you want to follow comic books, yes, you're probably not going to get that. But how crazy would that be come full circle later in like 2 seasons?
I mean, honestly, I don't think they're following any comic book in particular.
No,
you know what I mean?
Like
they're basing it off of a particular series of comic books, of Spider-Man comic books, but I don't think it's like absolute faithful to that.
It doesn't
I think they're merging a lot of different things, and they're setting this in a alternative universe where Spider-Man was not a part of the Avengers and everything of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like one shift over. This is one detail that changed and created this setting.
Yeah.
I mean, that scene was crazy though, man. Because instantly when it happened, I thought of No Way Home. Instantly.
Yeah.
You know, it was so crazy because you got, instead of Toby doing it, you got this other person who's eventually going to be a villain that's going to save you that time. You know, I mean, the irony of that is so crazy.
It's so good. It's so good. So, Scorpion gets arrested. Lonnie goes with the gang. Spider-Man goes to Nico. They promised Joe no more secrets. So Nico has to tell him about her abilities. That's a secret that she has to tell.
Yeah, no more secrets.
Goes behind her back.
Glowing amulet.
Yeah. But we also get a very interesting scene with Doc Ock in jail. And he talks with Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Norman's starting to show that typical Norman villainous. You know, it's his arrogance, you can just tell the gears are turning. The hatred with Doc Ock, you can just see it. He's like, I'm going to get out and I will get my revenge on you. I'm going to get you. And Norman is just sitting there laughing like, yeah, okay. That's just,
like,
oh man. He said, bring it. Oh man. Okay. Was that everything from episode 9?
Sounds I think that's about right.
Like that. The only thing from episode 9 that's missed is the spider and the Osmond injecting the spider with
Yes. They reveal that me and Frank were talking about it. It was a little sketchy how he just took Peter's blood. You knew it was for a reason, and it was to make more Spider-Man. Get his blood, put it in the spiders, and oh god! I told you, never trust an Osborn. I told you, never trust an Osborn.
I like Harry, man. I like Harry. He's cool.
Sure, but what happens to Harry most of the time?
Green Goblin, we know.
Or New Goblin, whatever.
Yeah,
rest my case. Anyway, the season finale. We finally get the reveal of why all these what's the word?
Interns
are at Oscorp. Norman is making a machine to travel into space.
Yep. the projects that they've all been working on are the key components to making this teleporter, the space transport.
Each of them had their goals, had their own strengths, and Norman saw it and they executed it in the Norman Osborn way.
My thing was that I was confused at that point because were the projects something that they created on their own or something that they were kind of injected into and they just completed those? Because for me, it sounded like they were just kind of making their own projects and then they were going to present it. But how is Norman so smart to say each one of these projects is exactly what I need to make this teleportation device? If it was something that he had no control over, if it was their own project to begin with.
I don't think they had no control over. I don't think he had no control over it because they were teamed up with a scientist, and the scientist probably nudged them in a direction.
But that's the thing, though. Connors didn't know about
Connors
it.
had no idea.
Connors had no clue. So
everyone else knew about it.
But Connors also, there's a scene with Connors that Connors says, we have to work on this, even though I would rather be working on that.
Well, I think there's
that moment where she's like, I got to work on this, even though I would rather be doing this type of research, but I have to do this. We have to do this.
But I think that's because I think Norman or any higher ups told her they have to do this assignment.
Exactly. So I think that's the thing.
I don't think that was Peter's assignment, though. That was the thing.
They molded them into doing these things and saying, okay, this is what they can do.
Mm-hmm. That was the only thing that kind of was confusing to me because I thought it was one of those projects where they had to make something on their own, and then that's why I'm like, wait, how the hell did he take all of their personal projects and use it towards what he was making? Like that was crazy to me. But again, it could be months later, and obviously it's not like a week in time. Like we're talking months and stuff. So he's probably looking and be like, "Oh, that makes sense. Oh, we could try that." So he probably was behind the scenes like puppeteering and some stuff. But it was just one of those things that caught me off guard.
Especially the scene where we see Peter's project actually worked.
Yeah,
and he wasn't there. Like everyone ended up working on Peter's project, and it worked, and they were all super excited that it worked.
Yeah,
there's been time here. There's been a lot of time. They didn't build that overnight. This has been time. We just get this compressed version of it, and I guarantee you, there was a lot of molding in there. There was a lot of like, oh, okay. Well, what if you built this and you planted that seed of saying, hey, well, what if you built, you're great at building things, i.e. your web shooters. What if you built something that could create endless amounts of power? You say it once and they go, yeah, I could do that. So you take their talent and you mold it to like the point that like, oh yeah, I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. And we're going to make you think that it's your idea, but we're pulling the strings all along.
Surprise!
I mean, definitely a possibility.
Yeah. So they were about to start up the machine, and then Doctor Strange just magically just appears. And he tells Norman to shut the whole thing down. Why?
It's a beautiful circle. It's a beautiful circle.
It's like a circle.
It's like a circle.
Well, he doesn't know.
Right.
So that was a crazy moment. It took me about, I want to say like 10 seconds, but it seemed like forever to realize that Doctor Strange doesn't know what happened in the beginning of this series.
Right, because Peter said
and at first I was thinking this was a Doctor Strange from another, like, alternative universe.
Same.
So was I. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
But it's not. It definitely is Doctor Strange from this universe. And I think where they were pulling from is an alternative universe, not somewhere just in outer space.
I don't know. I think it was from, what are you talking about, Doctor Strange?
Where they're going to portal from. I think that portal is connecting to an alternative universe, not their own universe.
Oh, so it's in space, but not in that universe's space.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I mean, definitely a possibility considering the ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Symbiote's planet. They literally transport the symbiote planet. The
symbiotes were so cool because they were just like, they were all those faces, and he was whooping them. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He was whooping them. But it was cool how they wound up taking it and like going right back to the first episode when it all happened, and then you see the spider.
See, that part confused me. I was like, oh, so it's actually a futuristic, but how? But how? It was just so confusing to me. My brain was going through circles. Second,
it's the circle. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy here.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He watched himself become Spider-Man again.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
It would totally messed up my brain. I'm like, wait. How did that? Wait. I literally paused the show. I was like, huh?
Now it was slightly different though. So remember when they were fighting with Strange and so when Strange and the symbiote were fighting, they did more damage to the building. This time it didn't seem like it did.
Well,
like,
don't
they didn't
forget
show the fighting scenes in the building. Like he was able to capture them really quickly.
Well, don't forget too, we already seen it, so why would they show that whole thing again?
True, but like I still.
And it's like what Frank said when they made this machine. Time passed. It wasn't like a week or so that they made this machine, so they had time to build that. I mean, you saw this later on. They were watching. They're looking over it at the school. It was still like there was still damage. Like it wasn't fully built back
they were
up
rebuilding
yet.
Things.
They're in the middle of rebuilding that building.
Okay, because I was just like, dang, they caught him faster. Maybe they changed time or something like that, and it wasn't that bad. That came out of that was Peter becoming Spidey. But maybe you're right. They just didn't want to show it.
Yeah, because we already saw it. All you needed to know.
Again. It was so good.
All you need to know was the spider got through the portal and bit Peter, and went who knows where. Maybe somewhere where Miles is.
Maybe. But one of the crazy things is we were theorizing whether if that was a symbiote spider. It's not.
It's not. Yeah.
It's a regular spider that was injected with his own blood. That's mutated.
The crazy part, and that's why I was thinking that maybe the spider was gravitating to that Peter again because it was his blood in his system, so he's probably sensing it.
Or what if that spider goes and bites a certain character that's coming next season?
Wait a minute. If that spider is injected with the blood of Peter Parker, this Peter Parker, he had the powers all along.
And in a timeline, no.
In a timeline, yes.
Really? Because that was in the past.
Yes, because they take his blood and he has powers.
But he takes the blood after he has the. I'm getting.
Yes.
See, this is where I've been. I've been stuck on this.
He takes the blood after he has powers. Right. So this Spider-Man is actually a legit mutant. This is like X-Men mutant. He's had these powers all along. He just never got activated. It's the spider bite that forces his body to actually activate.
It's
an insane moment, and I literally just processed that.
This is a whole mindfuck.
Because there's nothing else that created it. Or we have to have another scene where they altered his DNA to do more and created even more power. But then it still has to be this thing where he's always had the powers. He just didn't know it.
But if that was the case, wouldn't that defeat the purpose of the origin story of Spider-Man? Getting bit by a radioactive spider?
But this is a whole different thing.
This is a whole different, this is a whole different universe. This Spider-Man is fully a mutant.
You just gave me a headache. You know that?
I know. I gave myself a headache.
Well, apparently not, because you had this like epiphany and you were like, it makes sense.
I think his head just got bigger.
Eureka!
I just lost more hair.
You have hair.
Yeah, it's getting a little shiny.
Anyway.
Oh my god.
Anyway. But yeah, the whole fight scene with symbiote, with Strange and Spider-Man was fantastic. It was amazing. Yes. I loved it. The way they both tried to, tag team, try to do some combos together. It was great. I really appreciate that.
I love it because I feel like it's like watching freaking MCU Doctor Strange and Peter Parker from the MCU. Like it's their combined energies together. It's nice. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
Not that energy.
Oh man.
Oh, might get that soon too.
So as the symbiote goes back to the come on guys, as the symbiote goes back to its planet, a little bit of the symbiote stayed behind. Typical symbiote. Typical. Norman gets his hands on it. Now, what do you think that's gonna be? Do you think he's gonna make symbiotes? Do you think he's gonna make himself one? What do you think's happening?
I think it's gonna escape.
It's hard to say because Norman has it, but how crazy would it be to have a Norman, like a Green Goblin with the Venom symbiote attached?
But he's not even a goblin yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
The wing.
Yet.
He has the glider thing. He's got a glider.
And I saw when they posted that in the episode. I'm just like, oh snap! It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. Honestly, I think these events, especially because he's under fire for doing this experiment and it going horribly wrong and people getting hurt, this is the point that he flips. I think up until this point, he was malicious. He was out for himself and out to make his own money. But I think he still had like a shred of decency. Now I think that's going to be gone.
Well, you got to think too, he has all of Doc Ock's experiments.
Yep.
Who knows what that is?
Yeah, there's so much stuff now. He can literally build everything he needs to become Green Goblin now. Everything.
Yeah.
Or Hobgoblin, whatever. Whatever Goblin he wants to be.
Who's to say that in one of those boxes is a prototype pumpkin bomb?
Yes.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Please.
Just something along those lines. So, trying to think about it. So Peter actually feels like he kind of got betrayed by Norman, and decides to walk away from Oscorp, which, yes, I'd say yes. He's finally gonna be independent like he's supposed to be. And not this Tony Stark Jr., not this Norman Osborn Jr., Spider-Man, Peter Parker, all by himself. Well, not all by himself, but independent.
Do you think he's still gonna team up with Harry now?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Started that new.
He is the guy in the chair.
Yeah, he's the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
Well, even Harry, I'm pretty sure it was in the episode 9. Harry says,
I don't think it was.
Was it 9 or 8? Then, I think it's in 9. It's in like the first couple scenes. He says you have to be free to choose what kind of Spider-Man you want to be.
Yeah, it was at the end of 8 when he shows him the suit.
The end of 8?
Yeah.
Okay, end of 8, yeah. So Harry's definitely in this mindset of like, the hell with what my dad says you should be. The hell with the way that like my dad is. you decide who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one with the powers. You're the one that actually is doing the stuff. You need to be free.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna to fund even his whole mentality of like the smart people need to have a place to just solve the problems.
Yeah,
without
and not get exploited.
Yeah, without the adults that have their own intentions in mind and exploit them.
And I think with Peter separating from Norman, I think that's gonna push along that Green Goblin stage, because here's what's gonna happen. Norman has always said he needs a Spider-Man on the level of the Avengers. Norman's going to just sit there and be like, I don't have Spider-Man. I don't need Spider-Man. I am Norman Osborn. And he's going to try to be that guy. And I think things are going to backfire really, really quickly. And that's where we're going to see that downward spiral of him being evil Green Goblin.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be amazing.
I think we're also going to see a Doc Ock. Like, you're going to see this battle between Doc Ock and whatever this goblin character that Osborn is creating.
That's going to be...
Could you imagine just Peter just in the middle of it, just seeing Doc Ock and Green Goblin tear each other apart because they hate each other? If you're Peter, you're like, what the hell do I do?
I'd be the guy with the binoculars a couple buildings over, like, who's going to win this one?
Yeah.
Hey,
let
Harry,
me take out the survivor.
Hey, Harry, $50 on Doc Ock. I think your dad's going down tonight.
He'll be like, hey, so Harry, how much do you like your dad?
Harry's going to bet on his own dad. He's going to be like, I'm betting on my dad to lose.
But we saw in Doc Ock, he's making his drawing his arms more than 4.
Mm-hmm.
So could we get more than 4 arms?
Well, that's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be 4. It's Dr.
Well, it's just simple that way, man. It's just simple. Stop it.
It's 8. Octopus.
I get it.
Okay.
Plus, I got it.
Octopus.
Wait, Puss and Boots?
I'm trying to remember how many arms he's always depicted as.
4. It's always been 4.
Is it only 4?
Well, you gotta think. So you got 4 mechanical and then 4 limbs.
4 limbs. But I was trying to remember whether, like, in comics they actually show him with like 6 because they don't count his legs.
Yeah.
So then he's a sextopus. Sorry, guys, my math is kicking in. I remember that from algebra class.
I bet you did.
That's geometry. I screwed up.
Algebra, geometry.
Anyway, so
headaches.
Peter, Nico, and Harry decide to make their own little business. Mm-hmm. The Web. I love the name.
I love it.
I love it. They invite all the interns back. The only one who didn't take it was the whole character, Chow.
Yeah.
He likes it. He likes where he's at in Oscorp. He's gonna become the Hulk. He's gonna become the Hulk, whether it's sooner or later.
He's gonna become the Hulk?
In the comics, he does.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it?
He becomes a Hulk.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. And also, Brave New World. Remember the guy on the phone that was analyzing gamma from the pills?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Choto.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, good catch. Yeah. Good catch.
Anyway. Thanks, man. But whatever. Anyway, so we also get the invitation for the one intern that actually is helping Daredevil.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. All right. I don't know this character. Who is she?
She in the comics, she is she's supposed to be the daughter of Taskmaster.
She's the daughter of Taskmaster.
In the comics, yes. She
and you were saying that earlier. Yeah.
She can do what he can do, just copy and
mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I forget the actual her name. I forget that, but
yeah.
I think they say.
Now here's a question. Does she is she part of the Midnight Suns?
No.
And if she is part of the Midnight Suns, are we seeing the Midnight Suns be kind of introduced in this?
I see her more of the Defenders.
Defenders. Okay.
Okay, I can see that.
That's just personal opinion.
Yeah. No. I think that's a valid idea.
It makes more sense because let's be really honest, the only one for Midnight Suns is Doctor Strange, and that's the only one we have so far.
Daredevil too, right?
I thought Daredevil was in Midnight Suns at one point too.
Yeah. I thought
he
so
might.
too.
He might.
Him and
Yeah.
Punisher.
Yeah, but I know Punisher has been. Yeah, I know Punisher's been.
You also have Punisher and
Moon Knight.
Like, you also have
Ghost Rider,
Daredevil, and Punisher part of the Defenders.
Yeah.
You know, more street level New York base, which that's definitely what this is.
Yeah,
more street level New York base. Because we've really only seen characters from the MCU or from Marvel in general that are New York based.
Yes.
Not really like going anywhere
Iron
else.
Man popped in for like
crazy.
2 seconds, and that was it.
But still, Iron Man for the most part is New York based.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And George, do you know that Pearl's actually a hero in the comics as well?
Who?
Pearl.
Oh, is that that was what's
Lonnie's girlfriend?
Yeah. No, I did not know that either.
She can control the water.
Jesus Christ. Everybody in this damn school is a goddamn superhero. The flip.
She's actually kind of newish. I think she first appeared in 2014, 2015. Like she's like new, I think.
Yeah,
but yeah, she can like control the water and manipulate water.
Oh, Osmosis Jones in female body.
Yeah.
Anyway, so George? What did you think of Daredevil's suit?
Oh, I thought it was great. I thought it looked cool. I think it actually is reminiscent from the old Daredevil movies, though. The ones with Ben Affleck.
Ooh, yeah.
It gave me that vibe. Definitely gave me that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the new one from Netflix or MCU, but I thought it was cool. I was not expecting him in the show at all. When I saw him like fighting him on that rooftop,
and you hear the theme song.
Yes,
the heartbeat. Oh my god, I jumped. Oh, I was so excited. And it was Charlie Cox too, voicing.
And it was Charlie Cox too.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that's a nice play. That's a nice play. You just alley-ooped, boom. Because then it's awesome because we're leading into Daredevil, the TV show. So you're just teasing us with Daredevil. We got in She-Hulk and this and Spider-Man.
This is the year of the Devil and Fantastic Four.
Yes. Man, yes, it is.
Beautifully said.
Beautifully said.
Beautifully said.
So it is teed up and ready to go.
Yeah. Then Doctor Strange talks to Peter, about becoming a hero, be who you want. Then we see the Watcher watching over Peter.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell does that mean? Is he just watching? Is it something more that we don't know? What is it, guys? What is it?
It's hard to tell, man, because like the Watcher has literally been the person behind the What If series, right? So, and that's what made me think: is this a what if scenario? This is not existing in any well, I guess it would be in alternate universe because that's where the Watcher like kind of sits in between the universes. But yeah, I think this is just a what if series for Spider-Man. But does this Watcher eventually bring in this version of Spider-Man into the MCU at some point for Avengers Secret Wars?
No. I don't think so.
It was a long shot.
I don't think so.
It was a long shot.
I think that's
the only ones that I could see if they really are going to pull that trigger for Secret Wars, it's Tom, obviously, Toby, Andrew, and maybe like a curveball like Miguel or Noir, or just someone we haven't seen yet.
I wouldn't even go that far.
Not just it doesn't have to be like a whole thing. It could be literally just a quick snippet of him fighting a symbiote in the arena, like something like that. Doesn't even have to be like a whole conversation with a certain Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
I don't know the whole thing with the Watcher. I think that was a nice little. Well, that was an interesting ending. Well, not interesting ending because there was more to the ending.
Well, maybe the whole thing with Watcher is to put the Watcher to bed, kind of thing. This is the last. This is the last. Like the Watcher's still out there. You know, after the series we got the third season here that we got in December. You know, after Christmas. This is just like we are getting the Daredevil preview, shall we say it? The lead into Daredevil this year. We're getting the outro for the Watcher. That's kind of like, yeah, the Watcher's still out there.
But then
this is an alternative universe.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's definitely there's probably more to it, man. There's probably more to it.
Yeah.
Because why symbolize showing him at the end? Why would that be so important?
Yeah.
Is that to just show
to
that
say it's a different universe?
And that's what I'm thinking too. Maybe that was our answer.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Things are the same, but some things are different.
Yeah.
Or just him saying this is a what if Spider-Man series. Because it technically is. I mean,
it's a great
has
what if
MCU.
series.
It still has MCU events of the Sokovia Accords and what Norman said, like the battle in New York or Thor in Mexico. Like there's still events that happen from the MCU. It's just different.
This is like 99.9% are MCU, and that 0.1% is this story of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
but I like it. I like it a lot.
It's great.
Yeah. And then Lonnie, little quick thing. Lonnie's actually going to go to the web as well. He's got his invitation, which is, I mean, he's smart. We saw that he's not just a muscle guy or a jock. He's smart. He's a smart dude.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw on his fingers, he's starting to turn.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting to turn into the tombstone that we know.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks.
I know, because you love that character so much, and you see what
you grew to love him. You're just like, oh my god! Screw you. The person who made this show made you love these characters. It's just, so good. It's so good. And then Nico used her powers. Used her powers to contact her mother. Her mother. Yeah. But then, the big one, in my opinion, Aunt May going to prison to see Peter's dad.
Yes.
They're doing a Flash. They're doing a Barry Allen, and his dad's in prison for something he didn't do.
Oh, that's a great reference, by the way. I didn't even put that together.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. But yeah, that scene, man, I was like looking at the name and it said Parker, and I'm like, who's this? But it didn't say B Parker. It said F Parker.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, because I'm like, oh, Parker, Uncle Ben. Maybe Uncle Ben got locked up. No, this is his dad, bro. This is the craziest spin I've ever seen on this story.
Which makes sense because you never heard about his dad in the series. You just kept hearing about his mom and Uncle Ben. That's it.
I think there's one other Spider-Man series that did it. I think there's one other Spider-Man series.
Was it the Andrew one?
Well, I know Andrew was. It was different because they died, but he survived the plane crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he came and.
Kevin, where'd you go, buddy?
Losing him.
He's losing himself.
Interesting.
He'll be back.
But I think there is one other Spider-Man series. I just don't remember what it is.
It wasn't the Amazing Spider-Man series, right? Like the animated.
No, it's not the original Amazing Spider-Man series. Or no, there's a new one that's the Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. I forgot.
Maybe it's that one.
I think it was. That seemed familiar.
Because
like
I didn't watch all of that, but I do remember there's a series where his parents are actually still alive.
Yeah, I remember that.
It wasn't just his father; it was his mother as well.
Yeah, they were.
And there was a whole arc with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting turn of events. But now, what's the symbolic thing of this here? Why show Peter's dad? What's Peter's dad's like story gonna turn into in this? Because this is a whole new level. Like, we didn't know he was locked up. He was never locked up or shown being locked up in any of the other shows. So why is this so important? And why at the end? And why hasn't May said anything?
Protect Peter.
But protect him from what, though? That's my thing. We're talking about Peter's dad.
I don't know. And sorry, new camera. Still testing out, people. Please be patient. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what he did. Maybe he was the reason Uncle Ben got killed. Maybe he was the reason his mom got killed.
Yeah, we never actually get a explanation for where Ben is. We just know he's passed. We don't get the atypical Peter watches him die.
No,
we don't get the atypical, Ben has to give the lecture of, with great power comes great responsibility. That gives Peter his entire ethos.
Well, don't forget too, Aunt May said it. So maybe Aunt May says it again in this series.
I mean, it's great that we've seen May say it twice in our Spider-Man series. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that was kind of nice. But I think, so to Kev's point, maybe his dad has something to do with Ben's death, and maybe his dad went after Ben's killer, and that's why he got locked up.
Maybe.
It's a possibility. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
In this alternate universe.
What's a Spider-Man series without Spider-Man taking the final swing?
The New York dad. Yeah, was beautiful. The way he fell, it reminded me.
Fantastic.
Absolutely incredible. Listen, this show was amazing. I said it reminded me of Saturday morning cartoon. It reminded me of why I am a Spider-Man fan, and it was refreshing. I loved it. I can't wait for next season. I need it now. I need it now. I don't know. I need it now.
Can we just give a shout out to Marvel's animation team, because they gave us 2 amazing animated shows this year. Well, I guess in a year span. We had X-Men 97 and we had this.
Yeah,
and granted,
absolutely.
I would throw in What If, but that last season wasn't it for me. But yeah, the other 2 shows.
I feel like it was the story, not the animation, though.
No, animation
lives up.
Yeah, the
story wasn't so hot.
Not this season. The other seasons, 1 and 2, phenomenal.
Yeah.
But this third season, negative.
Yeah.
Well, the
animation team,
get more.
3 great seasons.
You're gonna get more, because I think the Eyes of Wakanda is animated, and you're getting Marvel Zombies.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's this year too.
Yeah, that comes out later on in the year. But yeah, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I still think the '90s Spider-Man animated series was better. But this has so much potential, bro. It really does.
I'm going to have to put it up there as one of my favorite animated Spider-Man shows. I do like the ones from the 90s. I do. But this one had a little bit more realism for me, especially when it came to fight scenes. Like Spidey getting stabbed by Scorpion, and you're like, oh, snap. They didn't show that in this TV show. You got that in this, you know what I mean? And that's why I went back and gave kudos to the Marvel animation team, because they gave us moments like that. X-Men 97 saw Gambit die, and I'm like, oh snap, and then we see Spidey getting stabbed, Spidey getting conflicted in his thoughts. You know what I mean? It's so much realism in the show that it feels like that could be anybody I know.
Yeah.
So here's a question. If Marvel, because there has been rumors about this, that Marvel may do a Spider-Man 97, or I forget what, I think they were calling Spider-Man 99 or something. The potential for them to do that Spider-Man, which would be like they did with X-Men 97, or continue to do this story and to do this Spider-Man.
I mean, why not do both? Because that other Spider-Man series could be tied to X-Men 97.
You already teased them in the finale of X-Men 97.
Exactly. So
he was there.
Do both.
Do both.
There's no reason why we can't get oversaturation of Spider-Man. I don't think anybody's going to complain.
No.
Especially
no one complains about Batman.
Kevin's going to be like, give me Spidey all day long. You know?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, right.
Yes.
You can give me Spidey all day long, too.
He's like, that's all I ever wanted.
That's all I ever wanted.
But
especially if you're going to give me the Spider-Man 97, Spider-Man 99, whatever you're going to call it.
Yeah.
The theme song?
Connect it to the X-Men as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want
Throw that in there. Throw that in there.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it in there.
But if I had to
Spider-Man.
sacrifice, I think I would sacrifice that for this Spider-Man.
I would too. I would
I
take
get it.
Spider-Man.
If I had to sacrifice.
I get it.
I think this is a hell of a Spider-Man. I think it's a fantastic show. I think this is a new look at Spider-Man that we have not gotten in a long time because they've done other Spider-Man series. And I'm not just talking like the Spidey and his friends Disney Junior level stuff, which my son loves, which is a fantastic way to introduce him into Marvel. But like the Amazing Spider-Man, I forget some of the other ones that they've done.
Spider-Man Unlimited, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man. I think this, for me,
Spectacular,
is above them under the 90s Spider-Man.
Wow. Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm going to have to side with Frankie on that one.
All right. Well,
but again, I will not say no to additional Spider-Man content.
Absolutely not.
Hear me, Marvel.
No.
Hear me.
No. And give us more. You don't have to give us Peter. Give us Miles. Give us Gwen. Give us anybody.
Getting Gwen in this series.
Well, I'm saying like a Gwen series, like a solo Gwen series.
Gwen series.
I don't want it.
Why?
I don't want it. Because her story revolves around Miles. It doesn't revolve around.
Does it though?
Yeah.
Not in the comic books.
No.
I don't see.
honey. Comic books, she's independent.
When I think of Spider-Gwen, I do not think of Spider-Gwen as a character. She's part of a team.
No.
In my eyes.
No.
I don't see it. That might be pushing for me. I'm sorry.
No. You stupid. Anyways. Listen, all right, we're gonna wrap this up.
Goodbye.
This was fun.
Yes.
Listen, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Close series. Well, I gotta say close series, man. Seriously. All right. Anything before we close it out?
This has been a fantastic ride. Hey, drop it in the comments. What did you guys feel about this? Are you living high off of this hog? Are you excited for Daredevil? Let us know, because there is so much that is to come out in this year. We're gonna keep on trying to do these smaller, shorter episodes with a little smaller cast. Besides our big stuff. yeah, shorter by like an hour.
Yeah, I don't know.
Half hour, maybe. George.
Thanks, guys, for letting me hop into this episode. I definitely wanted to hop in, and I'm glad I got to talk some Spider-Man with you guys. But again, if you guys like, comment, subscribe to Geeks at the Nerds Table, and let us know, do you think Spider-Gwen should have her own show? Because I don't. I don't care what Kevin says, because she don't need it. She don't need it. Anyway, Kevin.
You're just a hater, bro. You're just a hater. Just a hater. Anyways. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a lot of fun. Spider-Man's my absolute favorite, and I really do think Stan Lee would have been proud of this series.
Yeah,
he definitely would have. He loved this character with everything he had, and God, it would have probably blown all the expectations away for him. He would have just enjoyed every minute of it. But like what they said, let us know what you guys think about it. Follow us on Instagram, Geeks at the Nerd Table Podcast. I'm going to start streaming. I will. Soon. So, as long as I get this freaking camera to work, but, whatever. But we got more stuff coming for you guys. George, you and I want to talk about music, buddy.
Let's go, baby.
Some of my bands are making albums this year, bro. Let's do it.
Let's get it, son. Let's go.
Let's do this. Frank, this was a pleasure, buddy. We started from episode 1.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the next season, guys. Seriously.
Yup.
Well, as Stanley said, Excelsior. We'll see you guys next time.